remove of syncretism by using pagan iconography and placing different meanings behind it, the beginnings of Christian art truly grew out of covert catacombs underneath the entire city of Rome. So the earliest surviving Christian art that we have today comes from the 2nd to early 4th centuries on walls of Christian tombs in the catacombs of Rome.
A catacomb is basically an underground cemetery of connected tombs where bodies were buried, constructed by ancient Romans. It was an extensive network of subterranean tunnels to bury the dead, which stretch over 375 miles. The main difference between tombs and catacombs is tombs are the stone rooms, while catacombs are the tunnels and caves encompassing such.
In these catacombs that ran all the way underneath Rome, there were many frescoes, which is a type of mural painting, and pictogram symbols. At this time when these catacombs were made under Rome, Christians were being consistently persecuted by Roman authority due to the threat that they presented as discussed previously, meaning that Christian art had to be hidden.
As a result of the persecution, art was deliberately ambiguous and secret, taking imagery from the pagans and altering the symbolism behind it to have specific Christian meanings. This was a way of hiding because from the outside perspective of anyone else, it did not look like Christian but seemed pagan, a means of avoiding persecution. Looking around, there were wall paintings decorating all over these catacombs. Jesus, a super important figure to the Christians, was indirectly represented using pictogram symbols such as the peacock, anchor, and fish and loaves. The specific symbols used developed over time, yet they always maintained the fact that they secretly symbolized Jesus.
So one of the primary symbols that they used can be seen on the right side of our diorama with the peacocks. They represented hope of immortality and the symbol of immortal life. This was a common pagan symbol, so they just took what was already accepted to be there in burial chambers specifically and altered the meaning. Not only did this make it blend in so that they were not persecuted for symbols in these catacombs, but it also made Christianity relatable for people to convert to later upon its legalization and further spread. It had a mass impact through such, with these being the shallow beginnings that spurred this religion of large importance spreading far beyond what as having huge influence worldwide nowadays. These catacombs serve as a true contrast to all that Christianity is today, showing how far it has come. Later, as will soon be discussed, the depictions of Jesus even moved to him directly being shown in many narrative scenes after the legalization of Christianity by Constantine. Yet during this time, it remained fully underground, in more ways than one.
Ho, ho, ho. There's a notable absence of a cross, only shown using a disguised form of the anchor. The cross symbolizes the crucifixion of Jesus, an important event in the origins of Christianity, as his death triggered so many to spread his beliefs. This meant it was and still is a very important symbol to Christians, yet it was not explicitly depicted for several centuries due to the rampant fear of persecution. There was no pagan symbol to spin it off of.
Relating to the pagan symbolism that this underground Christian art spun off, a figure represented multiple times on this is the Good Shepherd, as seen on the left side of this diorama. This motif serves as a fusion of Christian and pagan symbolism together. The Good Shepherd was originally a pagan way of showing a man bringing an offering to an altar, yet Christianity changed this to represent Jesus Christ as the shepherd, laying down his life for his sheep.
To average Romans, the Good Shepherd, portrayed as a simple beardless youth in many pastoral scenes, just collecting sheep, did not appear to be a portrait of Jesus, but to the furtive Christians, this did have such a meaning.
Looking back at the right wall of this display, a fresco that displays fish and loaves can be seen. This was found specifically in the catacombs of San Callisto, a demonstration of Christian iconography that took regular things that would not have been oddly interpreted by pagan Romans and gave it special meaning instead, particularly representing the Eucharist in this fresco. Looking at the overall catacomb, there are skulls to show that it really was a place of death. A main belief of Christianity is that there's a distinguished afterlife, meaning that people had to be specifically memorialized/honored after death to ensure that they made it into heaven. Ultimately, these catacombs held the earliest Christian art that truly gives us a look into the humble origins Christianity rose out of.